If you're over 65 and still doing the same exercises you did years ago, this might be the most important video you watch all year. Because some of the moves you think are keeping you healthy could actually be damaging your joints, your back, and your balance without you even realizing it. And I see this all the time as a physical therapist. People come in confused, in pain, and shocked when they learn the cause is their healthy routine. Today, I'm going to show you the exercises you should seriously reconsider after 65 and what to do instead so you can stay strong, mobile, and independent for years to come. Stay with me, because one of these might be something you're doing every single day. Many traditional exercises become risky after 65 because joints, discs, and tendons are more vulnerable, even if the movements once felt easy and safe. And this is something a lot of people don't realize because they still feel strong and capable. So they assume their bodies can handle the same stress they did years ago. But the truth is that aging changes the structure of the body in ways that are not always obvious. Over time, cartilage becomes thinner, the cushioning between the bones is reduced, and the natural shock absorbers in the spine lose hydration, which means movements that involve heavy impact, deep bending, or repetitive strain place much more pressure on areas that are already working harder just to stay comfortable. Tendons and ligaments also lose some elasticity, making them less forgiving when stretched quickly or loaded aggressively, so an exercise that once caused no problem can now lead to irritation, inflammation, or even injury. Many people think pain is just something that suddenly appears, but in reality it often builds up quietly over months or years of doing the same stressful movements. That's why someone can feel fine for a long time, and then suddenly develop knee pain, shoulder pain, or back issues without a clear reason. The body has simply reached its limit. Another important factor is recovery, because after 65 the body doesn't bounce back the way it used to, and small strains that once healed quickly can linger and turn into chronic problems. Muscles may still be strong, but the supporting structures around the joints are more sensitive, and when those structures are repeatedly stressed, they start sending warning signals in the form of stiffness, aching, or sharp pain. Balance and coordination can also change with age, which means exercises that require quick reaction or unstable position carry a higher risk of falls, and a fall at this stage of life can be far more serious than it would have been earlier. Many people continue doing certain exercises out of habit or pride, wanting to prove they are still capable, but exercise should never be about proving something. It should be about supporting health, comfort, and independence. There is also the issue of posture, because years of sitting, working, and daily activities can lead to rounded shoulder, a forward head position, and a stiff upper back, which changes how forces travel through the body during exercise. When posture is off, even simple movements can place extra strain on the neck, shoulders, and lower back. This is why some exercises that look harmless can quietly cause problems over time. It's not that the exercises are bad in general, it's that the body they are being applied to has changed, and the approach needs to change with it. Understanding this is not about fear or limitation, it's about awareness and respect for how the body evolves, because when exercises are chosen with these changes in mind, people often feel better, move more easily, and experience less pain in daily life, allowing them to stay active and confident without unnecessary strain. Common moves like sit-ups, toe touches, deep squats, heavy overhead presses, leg raises, crunches, and aggressive twisting can quietly cause back, knee, and shoulder damage over time, and the danger is that most people don't feel it right away, so they assume everything is fine and keep repeating the same patterns day after day, not realizing that these exercises place repeated stress on joints and tissues that are already more sensitive with age. Sit-ups and crunches, for example, involve repeated bending of the spine, which increases pressure on the discs and small joints in the lower back, and for someone with even mild disc wear or arthritis, this can slowly lead to irritation, stiffness, and nerve pain. Toe touches and forward bends often shift the load into the lower back instead of the hips, especially when flexibility is limited, which means the spine takes the strain instead of the muscles, and over time this can trigger sciatica or chronic back discomfort. Deep squats may look functional, but they dramatically increase the pressure inside the knee joint, and if cartilage is already thinning, this can accelerate wear and lead to persistent knee pain. Heavy overhead presses place a lot of demand on the shoulder joint, which is naturally shallow and becomes less stable as tendons weaken with age, so this movement can pinch the rotator cuff and cause inflammation that lingers. Straight leg raises pull strongly on the hip flexors and lower back, and if the core is not stabilizing properly, the spine arches and takes the stress, creating a perfect setup for back pain. Aggressive twisting exercises load the spine in rotation, which the discs do not tolerate well, and when this is done quickly or with resistance, it can lead to muscle strains or disc irritation. The tricky part is that none of these problems usually show up immediately. They build slowly, and many people only realize something is wrong when the pain becomes constant or starts interfering with daily life. There is also the issue of repetition, because even moderate stress repeated hundreds or thousands of times can wear down tissue. And when recovery is slower, the body never fully resets before the next workout. Many people keep doing these exercises because they are familiar and widely promoted, not because they are the best choice for their current body. There can also be a mindset of pushing through discomfort, especially for people who have been active their whole lives, but discomfort is often the first warning sign that something is not right. When joints and tendons are repeatedly irritated, inflammation can become chronic, movement becomes guarded, and that can affect posture and balance, creating a chain reaction of problems. What makes this especially concerning after 65 is that small injuries can have bigger consequences because healing takes longer and compensation patterns develop more easily, leading to pain in other areas like the hips, neck, or opposite knee. These exercises are not evil, but they are often mismatched to the needs of an aging body, and continuing them without modification can quietly steal comfort and mobility over time, making everyday activities harder than they need to be. High impact and unstable exercises increase the risk of falls and injuries, which can be life-changing after 65 and significantly affect independence, and this is something many people underestimate because they focus on strength or endurance without considering how quickly balance and reaction time can change with age. As the nervous system ages, signals between the brain and muscles can slow slightly, and vision and depth perception can change, which means it takes longer to react if you start to lose your balance. When you combine that with exercises that involve jumping, sudden direction changes, or standing on unstable surfaces, the risk multiplies. A stumble that might have been easy to recover from at 40 can turn into a fall at 70, and the consequences are often much more serious. Broken hips, wrist fractures, head injuries are common after falls, and they can lead to long hospital stays, loss of mobility, and even loss of independence. Many people don't realize that once confidence is shaken by a fall, they may start moving less out of fear, which leads to weakness and even poor balance, creating a cycle that is hard to break. Unstable exercises like wobble boards or Bosu balls are often marketed as great for balance, but for many older adults they create more risk than benefit, especially if there is no support nearby. If the ankle rolls or the body shifts unexpectedly, there may not be enough time or strength to correct it. High-impact movements like jumping jacks, running on hard surfaces, or fast aerobic routines can also stress the joints and increase the chance of missteps, especially if there's any joint pain or stiffness. Pain itself can change the way someone moves, making them more likely to compensate and lose balance. Another factor is muscle power, which is the ability to produce force quickly, and this naturally declines with age. When you need to catch yourself from a trip or slip, you rely on that quick muscle response, and if it is slower, the risk of falling goes up. This is why exercises that challenge balance need to be carefully chosen and controlled. The goal is to improve stability, not test it to the point of danger. Many people think that if an exercise feels hard or scary, it must be effective, but in reality, feeling unsafe is a sign that the exercise may not be appropriate. There is also the issue of environment, because cluttered rooms, poor lighting, or uneven surfaces can turn an already risky exercise into a dangerous one. After 65, safety should always be part of the exercise plan, not an afterthought. It is far better to work on balance in a controlled way, such as holding onto a counter while standing on one leg, or practicing slow, deliberate movements that risk a fall with flashy or extreme exercises. Protecting balance and preventing falls is not about being cautious, it is about being smart, because staying upright is one of the most important factors in maintaining independence and quality of life, and every exercise choice should support that goal rather than challenge it. Unnecessarily smart, joint-friendly strength, gentle mobility, balance training, and posture work are far more effective for staying strong, mobile, and pain-free as you age, and this is because these types of exercises work with the body instead of against it, supporting the joints, muscles, and nervous system in a way that promotes long-term comfort and function rather than short-term intensity. Joint-friendly strength training focuses on controlled movements, proper alignment, and moderate resistance, which helps build muscle without overloading the joints. And this is especially important after 65 because stronger muscles act like natural shock absorbers, reducing stress on the knees, hips, shoulders, and spine during everyday activities. Gentle mobility keeps the joints nourished and moving through their natural range without forcing them into positions that cause strain, which helps reduce stiffness and maintain flexibility needed for dressing, walking, and reaching. When mobility is maintained, movements feel smoother and require less effort, making daily life easier and more enjoyable. Balance training is another critical piece because it improves the body's ability to stay upright and react to changes in position, and even small improvements in balance can greatly reduce the risk of falls. Simple balance exercises done consistently can increase confidence and stability, helping people feel safer when walking on uneven ground, climbing stairs, or moving around the house. Posture work often gets overlooked, but it plays a huge role in how the body feels and functions. Because when the head is forward and the shoulders are rounded, it puts extra strain on the neck, upper back, and shoulders, and it can even affect breathing and balance. Strengthening the upper back and gently opening the chest can improve alignment, reduce tension, and make standing and walking feel more natural. These types of exercises also tend to be more sustainable, because they don't leave people feeling exhausted or sore for days, which means they are more likely to stick with them. Consistency is far more important than intensity, especially as we get older, because regular movement keeps the body adaptable and resilient. When an exercise feels good instead of punishing, it becomes something people look forward to rather than something they dread. Another benefit of this approach is that it allows for better recovery because the body is not constantly being pushed to its limits, giving tissues time to repair and strengthen. This reduces the risk of chronic inflammation and overuse injuries, which are common when people do too much too fast. Gentle, well-chosen exercises also improve circulation, joint lubrication, and overall energy levels, which can have a positive effect on mood and mental health. Many people are surprised to find that when they switch to a more joint-friendly, balanced routine, they actually feel stronger and more capable in daily life, because their movements are no longer limited by pain or stiffness. This approach supports independence by making it easier to get up from a chair, carry groceries, reach overhead, and move confidently through the day. It is not about doing less. It is about doing what truly supports the body's needs at this stage of life, allowing strength, mobility, and balance to work together, so the body feels stable, capable, and comfortable rather than strained or vulnerable. The goal is not to exercise like you're 30, but to move well at 70, 80, and beyond, protecting your body so you can stay independent and active for life. And this shift in mindset is one of the most important changes anyone can make as they get older, because chasing youth through intense or extreme workouts often leads to frustration, pain, and injury instead of the strength and vitality people are hoping for. When you are younger, your body can tolerate more stress, recover faster, and hide small problems more easily. But as the years pass, those small problems become bigger if they are ignored, and the body becomes less forgiving of poor movement patterns and excessive strain. This does not mean giving up or lowering standards. It means redefining what success looks like. Success after 65 is being able to get out of bed without pain, walk confidently, climb stairs, carry groceries, play with grandchildren, travel, and enjoy daily life without worrying about injuries or limitations. These are the things that truly matter, and the way you exercise should support them. Many people feel pressure to keep up with younger workouts because they fear that changing means they are getting weak or old, but in reality, adapting is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. It shows that you understand your body and respect what it needs. Moving well at 70 and 80 means having enough strength to support your joints, enough mobility to move freely, enough balance to stay upright, and enough confidence to live life fully. It means waking up feeling capable instead of stiff and sore, and going to bed feeling satisfied instead of exhausted or in pain. It also means reducing the risk of injuries that can take months to recover from and can permanently affect independence. A single fall, a torn tendon, or a bad back injury can change everything, and many of these events are preventable with the right approach to movement. When exercise is chosen carefully, it becomes a tool for longevity rather than a test of toughness. It supports the body instead of challenging it in ways that don't make sense anymore. The focus shifts from how much you can lift or how hard you can push to how well you can move and how good you feel doing it. This is a much healthier relationship with exercise, and it leads to better long-term results. People who train with this mindset often find that they actually feel stronger, more stable, and more confident as they age, because their bodies are not constantly fighting pain or recovering from strain. They are building resilience instead of breaking themselves down. There is also a sense of freedom that comes with this approach, because you are no longer trying to live up to someone else's idea of fitness. You are creating a routine that truly fits your life and your body. That is empowering, and it makes exercise something you do for yourself, not something you feel you have to do to prove something. Aging well is not about looking young. It is about living well, and living well means being able to move, function, and enjoy life with as little pain and limitation as possible. When you choose exercises that support your body at this stage, you are investing in your future self, giving yourself the best chance to stay active, independent, and confident for many years to come.